This is the GIS Evening Report for Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. I am Chrisanne Mitchell. In the headlines, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says Grenada needs more resilient infrastructure to withstand disasters. We'll have the details to this story and more after the break.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it is crucial for all of us to conserve water at home. When washing my fruits and vegetables, I use a bowl of water, and later I reuse it to water my plants. This is how I save water at home. What are you waiting for?
Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says the government of Grenada will oversee rebuilding efforts in the wake of Hurricane Beryl to ensure infrastructure is more resilient to withstand disasters. During a press conference on Tuesday, Prime Minister Mitchell said Cabinet is liaising with regional and international agencies like the World Bank, IMF, and CDB to get assistance in the rebuilding and recovery process. Hurricane Beryl ravaged Carriacou and Martinique with damage to a lesser extent on the mainland.
We cannot repair and build new or repair old buildings without ensuring that we comply with strict building codes that allows us to minimize losses arising from these hurricanes. We also need to appreciate that the hurricanes are not going away. All indications are that they will become stronger and that they will become more frequent. And as we can see, there is a real risk of them happening even earlier in the hurricane season. So part of our financing and recovery efforts must focus on ensuring that we build resilient infrastructure and that we build resilient homes and other buildings to withstand not just hurricanes, but all of the other challenges that we face in this part of the world.
Prime Minister Mitchell assured that the government is contemplating fiscal incentives to aid families in their rebuilding efforts.
We will not tolerate persons who are not impacted by this gaming the system or scheming or taking advantage of any fiscal incentives that the government will announce.
Additionally, he said Grenada is expecting payout from the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility toward rebuilding after Hurricane Beryl. The facility is designed to limit the financial impact of catastrophic hurricanes and earthquakes on the Caribbean governments through short-term liquidity when a policy is triggered. CCRIF was developed through funding from the Japanese government and capitalized through contributions to a multi-donor trust fund by the government of Canada, the European Union, the World Bank, the governments of the UK and France, the Caribbean Development Bank, and the governments of Ireland and Bermuda, as well as through membership fees paid by participating governments. Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas made a detour from its planned schedule and arrived in Grenada early on Tuesday to deliver relief items for affected families in the north of the island and Carriacou and Martinique. The supplies were delivered by Captain Matthias Sebum and received by Tourism Minister Senator the Honorable Adrian Thomas and Chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Randall Dolland. The cruise line did not bring relief items alone. It also had on board more than 2,000 passengers, most of whom disembarked.
On the behalf of Royal Caribbean International, we have done lots of donations and gifts for both the Royal Caribbean and also our guests. They have a big donation box and also for the crew, so I come here. So very pleased that we could make this stop, and also you could also invite us to have our guests and crew to go ashore today and have a wonderful memories of a beautiful island. So thank you. We're looking forward to have a wonderful stay here and hopefully see you again soon by the better circumstances.
Expressing gratitude for the gesture, Tourism Minister Senator Adrian Thomas applauded the captain and crew for considering Grenada and the affected islands during this challenging time.
I came from Carriacou and Martinique on Sunday, and it was depressing. It was depressing. We are fortunate in Grenada at this point in time to be up and running, and we have the opportunity to welcome visitors to our show. 2,377 passengers here this morning is testimony that Grenada is up and running and we are in a position to welcome visitors. However, we cannot do that without remembering our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And therefore, I want to especially thank the captain and his crew and Royal Caribbean for coming to Grenada and lending a hand. 15 tons of fuel, foodstuff, will go a very long way. And I know that the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique will welcome the aid. The people in the north of the island, St. Patrick, I visited Grenville and I saw the difficulties that the people were having for shelter. Sunday, it was a lot of rain in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. There was some rain in Grenada also, and the people had difficulty in sheltering themselves. So the initiative to come to Grenada and put a helping hand is a very good initiative, and we welcome this.
Randall Dolland, chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, said the arrival of Rhapsody is a clear indication that Grenada is opened for business and applauded the cruise line for being a good partner with the GTA in time of need.
Not only have they brought aid, but all of these wonderful visitors that are disembarking and supporting our economy by spending money and enjoying our sites and eventually becoming great salespersons for Grenada, as they will go back and tell their friends and families about how wonderful their stay on the island was. What's important to note is that we're being donated 15 tons of marine fuel, which is very helpful with the aid relief going to the north of the island, so we could help fill the boats and the ships that are taking aid and volunteers up on a continuous basis back and forth. And some of the aid relief that is already coming in is being assigned to some of the shelters and to the people who are most in need at this point. So again, this shows the resiliency of the tourism sector. It shows that once we have great partnerships and working relationships with partners like Royal Caribbean, who are willing to step up not just in the good times but also in the bad. We are very grateful for this opportunity, and we're very grateful for their generosity. We applaud their efforts, we thank them, and we continue to support however we can as well. But again, it's just also a reminder to the world that Grenada is open for business.
Donated items included mattresses, generators, linen, food items, children's diapers, and marine fuel. Stay with us, we'll have more after the break.
Violence is never the answer. Let's talk it out. We need a safe space for our children to grow up, so let us respect each other. You see this little light of mine? I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning, for the children is looking on. So let's take advantage of the gun amnesty in full effect until July 30th. Remember, the answer is love. A message from the Ministry of National Security. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning.
The gun amnesty remains in effect until July 30th. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Welcome back. The National Water and Sewerage Authority has announced the recommissioning of all 28 water systems that were affected by the Category 4 Hurricane Beryl on July 1st. NAWASA's communication supervisor, Jamila Lewis, confirmed that the teams had to work to resolve issues caused by the hurricane's impact on water infrastructure.
On mainland Grenada, 28 water systems were affected as a result of the passage of Hurricane Beryl. As of today, Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, I am very happy to report that all 28 water systems have been recommissioned and persons are receiving a supply. The challenge that NAWASA is having is that even with the recommissioning of those systems, we do have persons on high elevation that would receive water during the course of today, and for some persons as much as Wednesday. Ms.
Lewis says the company has since conducted comprehensive checks along its distribution network to identify and address any potential leakages in the distribution system that may have arisen during the hurricane.
NWASA is also checking for leaks along the distribution network, which is very crucial, especially when a network has been down for a period and considering the level of damage that we experience along that particular network. So there may be some inconveniences during the course of the day and tomorrow.
Lewis says that restoration efforts will commence in earnest for residents in Carriacou from Wednesday, July 10th.
The carriacou plant has been recommissioned that will enable plant production and distribution at the plant site. However, that will only be achieved via truckage. Currently, we have a 2,000-gallon water truck that was loaned to NWASA by a St. Lucian contractor called Renault, and that truck is on island and will start commencement of distribution via truckage, of course, effective Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. A second water truck, which is an 1,800-gallon truck, will be loaned by the Barbados Water Authority, and it is expected to arrive in Carriacou during the coming week, and shipping arrangements are currently being made through Sedima.
The island of Petite Martinique currently has a temporary intake structure due to damage on the main. As it relates to Petite Martinique, Lewis says it wants to acquire 300-gallon water bladders to aid in water distribution efforts there, while work is ongoing in assessing the damages to the infrastructure to commence necessary repairs.
Efforts are also being made by NWASA to acquire 300-gallon water bladders that can be mounted on the back of pickup trucks, and that will be used to distribute water in Petite Martinique. Once the plant is operational, distribution will be attempted via the existing distribution network. NWASA will have a team on the ground to address leaks that may have been occurred during the hurricane, and once that is addressed, the network will be up and running by Monday, July 15th, 2024.
The Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce says it is encouraged by the swift response from the government and local authorities to assist the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. The GCIC is also heartened by what it describes as the unwavering support from its members, citizens, the diaspora, and regional and international partners. It issued a statement saying, and I quote, "We commend the government's immediate action in addressing urgent needs and its strategic vision for the robust recovery. The Chamber reaffirms its commitment to collaborating closely with the government and all stakeholders to support and expedite recovery efforts. In this crucial period, the Chamber commits to mobilize resources, advocate for policy support, foster innovation and resilience, and strengthen community engagement," unquote. Meanwhile, Caribbean Agro Industries Limited is advising that its manufacturing plant was largely unaffected by the hurricane, and its employees are back on the job after attending to their personal challenges in the aftermath of Beryl. The company says it is eager to meet the public's flour needs as well as the animal feed needs of the livestock of the country. Caribbean Agro resumed operations on Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, and is opened for business during regular operating hours from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays and 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Fridays. Stay with us. We'll have more after this break.
Climate change is real, bringing hotter days and less rain. Less rain means less water, so it's crucial for us to conserve water at home. When washing my vehicle, I use a bucket with rainwater that I have stored. This is how I save water. What are you waiting for?
Thank you for staying with us. The Immigration and Passport Office has confirmed that printing of passports with a 10-year lifespan has begun. The government of Grenada recently amended the passport bill, giving the Grenadian passport a validity of 10 years to individuals 18 and over. Head of the Immigration and Passport Office, Assistant Superintendent of Police, ASP Elian Purcell, updated the GIS on Monday. The department, he says, began receiving applications last week. He provided details on what's currently happening at the Passport Office.
Today we have started actually printing the passport that are valid for an extended 10-year period. However, we started taking applications from last week. We have extended the waiting period for that passport by 5 days. So it's 5 business days for that particular, because of the volume of the intake. And we were not able to process due to the hurricane. And we had a delay as well because of the hurricane in actually deploying the upgraded software to be able to process the passport. So today we have worked along with the developers of the system, and we are able to successfully deploy the system or the upgrade to the system, and we have printed the first set of passports today.
ASP Purcell said they have plans going forward, which is to keep the 5-day extended period until they are able to work on the applications that were made earlier.
Going forward, we would want to keep the extended period of 5 days until we are able to resolve all of the backlog or those that have been waiting, because we have taken in a substantial amount of applications. So we'd want to knock them out. And then we'll come current again, where we'll be issuing in 3 business days, as we are accustomed to.
The Immigration and Passport Office, he says, will continue to provide exceptional service to the country and ensure a smooth flow during the process.
There is an additional security feature to the extended life of the passport, and also internally on the document itself, we have made some security changes too. We have not seen any foreseeable major challenges as it relates to our processes. Our processes, our internal processes remains very robust, mindful of security, and we want to assure the public that we'll continue to produce a very high quality passport for the state of Grenada, and we'll take all precautions to guarantee the safety of the Grenada passport.
Going back to the Sister Isles, Honorable Ron Redhead is reporting success in the setup of a structured system to improve the distribution of aid throughout Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Via telephone on Monday, MP Redhead said over the past few days, his team, with assistance from the Honorable Tevin Andrews, Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, worked tirelessly to put the structure system in place. This, he says, was necessary to ensure smooth management and distribution of relief supplies.
It is working well now. It is 100% completed in terms of the setup and the arrangement required to be able to man the operation there to put out or deliver the aid. One of the most important things that we wanted was to coordinate the distribution so that we are not being cumbersome in terms of how, or imbalanced more so in terms of where the aid is going. It is still a work in progress because we're still trying to sort that out. But ultimately, we have been in a position now where aid is going out as soon as it comes in, that sort of thing, because we now have people to package and distribute. The most important thing is to ensure now that the people who need the aid are getting it. So we're in the process of working out the mass communication system to go throughout the communities to say when the aid trucks are going to pass and to say where they are going to be. So at least people could begin to make themselves available. And those who are unable to walk to the food truck, so to speak, we are in the process to see how we could get men on the ground to ensure that we go to them, get the information, and then subsequently get aid back to them.
MP Redhead says essentially the team is very satisfied with the outcome of their hard work, though challenging circumstances prevail and there is a need for more hands on deck.
We are pleased to report that the issue of the distribution has somewhat been solved, and we are hopeful that as the days go by, things will only continue to get better. Now, on the other hand, we still have challenges in many other areas, and the most important thing now is the rebuilding, the reconstruction that is required to bring us not to some semblance of normalcy, but order, just to ensure that Carriacou and Petit Martinique, things could kind of function as it stands now, notwithstanding the aftermath of the devastation from Hurricane Beryl.
He says one of the major priorities is to get the debris off the streets and from the neighborhoods into one central location, as the present site of the debris from the destruction caused by Hurricane Beryl is depressing to residents. Finally, the Honorable Mr. Mario Mikel, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, is assuring those affected by Hurricane Beryl that they remain ready and willing to help in whatever way they can to assist on the journey to recovery. In a statement, he said the Emergency Measures Practice Direction No. 1 of 2021 has already been activated on account of the state of emergency, which has been declared for Carriacou and Petit Martinique for 7 days in the first instance. Mr. Mikel added that they will be working closely with the judges and registrars of the Supreme Court in Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure a seamless continuation of court operations during this time. This concludes the GIS Evening Report for Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. I am Chris Ann Mitchell saying thank you for joining us.